Hi friends, I hope you all are doing great. It's me, Nikki, here to share with you my front porch makeover. This is a project that Mike and I worked on recently, so I'm excited to take you on the journey. So let's get started. So friends, if you know me, you know I love organizing the home and decor and all of those things on the interior. But when it comes to the exterior, I struggle. And so Mike and I, we're big DIYers, so we always want to give it a go. And so we decided to refresh our front porch area. So we headed to Lowe's. We said that we would figure it out, and we had a plan, but we didn't quite know what we wanted to do 100%, but we needed that inspiration. So the first thing was to go kind of just look at our options. So going in, there were three things I was sure about. I knew I wanted a gardenia bush because I've had one before in another home and I love the fragrant smell. I could pull them into the house and I love them. The other thing that I was sure about is that I wanted everything to be green and white because that is just a beautiful pop. I'm not a big color person, exterior or interior, so I knew I wanted to keep it semi-simplified, and plus we're repainting the house and all of that, so I knew I had kind of that going. The third thing is I knew I wanted a combination of annuals and perennials because I wanted those standard items that would come back each year, those standard plants and things, but then I also wanted something that I could replant every year so that if I wanted to switch things up, I had that option. So if you're like Mike and I and struggle with the exterior, it really helped us to kind of pick our color choices before we went shopping, along with knowing what types of flowers we wanted, whether perennials, annuals, and that kind of thing. So now let's start this makeover. So after we loaded up the truck, it was about going home, laying everything out and laying it out in a way that we wanted to plant it. So I watched this YouTube channel called Garden Answers. I found her on YouTube. I'm so obsessed with this woman. She has the best videos. If you're like me and you struggle with gardening, she's so inspirational. So check her out. I fell in love with her and I've kind of binge watched her videos. And so one thing that she does is she lays out all of her plants like when she gets them, and she makes her arrangement first, which totally makes sense. And so our garden bed was horrendous. It was after the winter. It really was like embarrassing, and so we knew we needed a fresh start, and so we kind of just swooped everything around. We need to trim our hedges. We did get some plants to put beside the front door, but it was about just finding out how our arrangement was going to be first. So I just basically set all of the flowers how I thought I wanted them, by smaller being in the front and then moving up to the second layer and then the taller towards the back. Now one thing Mike and I made sure to do is we made sure that when we were shopping for our flowers that we really looked at how tall they grew, and so that when everything grows in, it really is going to look beautiful. So now that we figured out our arrangement, it's time for the part that, is, I would say, the most work, is getting all of these babies planted. But I have to admit, not being a garden person, I was so excited about this part because it was like, I found the arrangement. It's looking like it's going to work. I found my solar lights that I wanted to incorporate also, so I feel like that's the little jewelry of the kind of flower bed there. And I had my doormat and all of those things, which I'll show you in a little bit. But it was about getting the hard part done. Now, one thing that we really want to do is we want to incorporate the water line so that we don't have to worry about watering every day. We have not done that part yet, and we probably should have done that as we incorporated this. It probably would have made it easier, but we just didn't quite know how we wanted to go about it. And so that is something that we're going to have to come back. And so I used my ruler because I strategically wanted to measure and make sure that they were spaced evenly apart, because I feel like when everything grows in, it really will show the effort, and really, instead of just kind of putting a hole here and there and putting the plant in, I think that it really is going to give a beautiful overall look. Of course, as in many homes, you have that clay that plants, I don't even know how they semi-survive in those clay. So I did incorporate soil. We got bags of soil to kind of dig out and mix with the clay. So hopefully this will turn out well. And if any of my friends out there are gardeners, all the tips that you have, I would love to hear about them in the comments, because your friend here is a work in progress when it comes to this. But I must say, Mike and I, we did have a lot of fun putting this together, because again, we struggle so much with our yard because this is just not, like I said, not our gig, but we're really trying to get better about it. And I'm trying to learn more, and I've been trying to learn for quite some time now, but I am really inspired by it now, especially since I started watching the YouTuber that I told you about, I think it's Garden Answers. I'll put her in the link in the description box below. But it just really, it's amazing how you can watch someone and they inspire you. And she just really inspired me. She has a gorgeous garden. So these ferns here, I saw these and I automatically knew I wanted these, and I can't wait for them to grow out, because I think it's going to really fill in the space beautifully and just be gorgeous. So now that Mike and I got everything into the ground, it's all about the mulch now. We know we wanted to go with a black mulch. We thought it would fit our house beautifully. It's just a nice rich color. But one other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to replace the mat in front of the door. That's always a great way to refresh your front door. And, I didn't really want to necessarily put a wreath on the door right now. Because I couldn't find one that I really wanted. But I was on Pinterest and I love how they do the double mat, where you find just a regular throw rug and then you put your mat on top of it, and it gives you a layered look, and it's a great way to add some oomph and style to your front porch area. Now, I wasn't a fan of the tassels, so I simply cut them off, and I found this rug at home, a very inexpensive rug, but I thought the layered look looked so cute, and it was so much fun in the store kind of finding different rugs and trying to match them up. It was a lot of fun, and it added a lot to the door. So that was a nice little update that I enjoyed doing. And so now it was about Mike and I getting the mulch out and then putting the solar lights in, and we are so happy with how it turned out. And so now for the exciting part is to keep these babies watered, take good care of them, and hope that they grow into each other. So I can't wait to see all of this when it is just filled out and everything is looking beautiful. But friends, I don't love outdoor gardening and all of that, or at least I say I didn't used to, because I really am starting to love it. It was truly a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed joining us on this journey. I hope you all are doing great. I will see you at the next video, and this is Nikki saying goodbye.